privilege, and I'm playing golf last year with a buddy and two of his buddies, and within 9 holes I've heard the word shine, and I've heard the word nigger. And
Are these white gentlemen?
yeah, 2 white guys. This is 2014.
And while you're playing golf?
2014, yeah. And you know, I have to say something.
And did you say something to them?
Yes, I did. I said, look, I'm half black.
What, you are?
Well, I'm half black psychologically.
Okay.
Because my girlfriend is black, and her family I'm closely involved with and love, and I have black friends, employees and former employees and
customers,
and we live in a world with people of color, and it just boggles my mind that someone in 2014 could even use that term or those terms. It makes you ask yourself, where have they been? Where have they been for 50 or 60 years? Where have they been? I mean, do they never crack open a book? Do they never engage in any thought about the world? Do they never look around them? And so when I confronted, it was two of them, but I confronted them, and said, you know, half the people I love in this world are black. You can't talk that way. You cannot talk that way. They said, are you serious? I said, yes, I'm serious. I'm serious. And so a simple, pleasurable golf outing turns into something tinged with all kinds of emotions and things that it shouldn't. It should just be, we're out here having a nice game of golf, a round of golf, and it turns into something it shouldn't be. But that's not unusual. And like I say, some whites feel as if either they've always talked that way, and I know that they have, even before Obama was elected, but I think his election has seemed to have touched a chord in many ways.
It's brought them out.
Yeah, it brought it out, I think.
Right, even the KKK has come out now in full force. And you know, you see a lot of the politicians themselves that are very hateful and angry.
Yes.
And I mean, they don't use the N-word against the president, but they might as well.
Joe Wilson jumps up during a State of the Union and says, "You lie." And where are the Democrats to jump in and kick his ass?
Okay.
Which should have happened.
Right.
He should have been dragged to the floor. He should have been
Taken
dragged
down
to the floor with 10 Democrats on him. And
no one did anything.
And no one did anything. They didn't do anything. So where's Obama's back? Who's got his back except Joe Biden?
Right.
Who's got his back? Nobody.
Right.
And I think in the first few months that he was elected, he was in serious fear of his and his family's. It had fear for their safety. I really think he did.
Right, and I agree with that too, especially with the recent lapses in security within the Secret Service. You never heard before the other presidents having these types of problems.
Correct.
But here you got people actually making it through the White House and just breaking through the security, which almost seems to be a conspiracy to allow it to happen. I mean, no one seems to care, but you know, going back to what we're talking about here, I mean, this whole racism thing, and that's one of the reasons I chose to talk to you. First of all, you knew the Duenez shooting. I'm very close to the family there, and you know, just great people. They're fighters for and lead the movement over there in California, where I'm from.
And seeing her.
The wife
rushing to the aid of her husband, attempting to rushing to the aid of her husband, and at the expense of her own life, and almost losing her life, it looked like, by the threats that were made against her. And she's just trying to render aid and hold her loved one in her arms as he's dying.
Right.
And
she didn't get a chance to do
didn't
that.
get a chance to do that, and I'm sure that's going to haunt her the rest of her life.
Right.
But it's a sad.
Well,
It's just sad. It's just sad.
yeah.
You know, you can't solve a problem at the end of a gun. And now, having said that, police have their own issues. I did watch the tape of the compilation of police shootings of civilians. I watched another tape of police being attacked, and they have their own issues where they feel that they're under siege. We just have far too many guns in this society, far too many handguns. And if you compare our society with other Western societies, our rates of murder and level of violence is much higher than most, than most. And it's troubling. It's troubling because we're teaching our children that, and they watch. They have access to the media now with the internet. They watch all of this, and they are being affected by it. Violent games and violent behavior of adults.
Right. Do you have any last comments that you wish to make here as to, where we should be going?
H.G. Wells has a quote. History is a race between education and catastrophe, and you have to educate yourself. We have to educate our nation, and that means about everything. And violence is not an answer. Violence is not an answer.
Great. Thank you very much,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Jefferis.
Thanks for having me.
Oh.